G'day guys, my name's Marky, and welcome back to some more stories from Reddit. With that said, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the barbie. Let's get right into it. Am I overreacting? My boyfriend's been acting strange since finding out his ex is getting married. So we've been together for 3 years. Before we got together, he dated his ex for 4 or 5 years, I don't know exactly. They broke up because of his job and he moved here. We started dating pretty soon, like a few months after they broke up, but he assured me that he was over her. He never likes talking about her or their relationship at all. So I guess she got engaged recently and he found out from one of his friends who lives in his home state. And I've been shocked because he's really upset. He's been acting out of character about it and not communicating with me at all. I pried it out of him because one day he came home with a bottle of hard liquor and drank, and he never drinks. And I kept asking, what's wrong? What's wrong? And he just wanted to be in his office by himself. So eventually, later after asking repeatedly, he tells me and says that it's a mind fuck, and he never thought about her dating after him, but won't talk about it further. But he's still acting weird. Then 2 things happened that have made me very uncomfortable. He out of the blue started talking about going back to his home state to visit his stepfather. He's never brought this up ever before. They talk sometimes, but he's never shown interest in going back. So I said that would be cool. I'd love to see your high school and where you grew up. And he said, actually, he was thinking of just going solo for a couple of days. So then last night, after he goes to sleep, I got a weird feeling and I went on his phone. And I found out that he had been asking friends from his old state to get him her new number because he wants to talk to her. And he said that he wants to say congratulations, and one of his friends told him that it's not a good idea, and he said he just really wants to talk to her. Oh, brother, no! Don't do this! CEO of bad ideas. I feel hurt and devastated, and even a little betrayed. Why does he have to say congratulations to someone who hasn't been in his life for years? Like, if they stayed friendly, I wouldn't have cared, but it's scaring me how much this is affecting him. I love him so much. I knew from early on that he was the one, and I thought he thinks that I'm the one too. But then another part of me thinks that I'm making a mountain out of a molehill. Everything has been perfected before this. I've never felt like he hid things, or that we had communication issues. But if he just wanted to say congrats, why wouldn't he add her on social media and tell me about it? And why does he suddenly want to go home right now? And now I'm wondering why we've never talked about her, but we've talked about my exes and other girls that he dated in high school and college. In the comments, Yuan's Moon says, he's not going to say congratulations. He's going because he has unfinished emotional business with her. Unfortunately, you don't know what it is. It could be that he needs to say how devastated he was that she didn't come with him and felt abandoned by her, or if he's going to propose to her. Whatever it is not an anthill, it is a mountain for him and you. I'm sure he feels like he can't talk to you about it, which I understand, but you might want to tell him that if he wants there to be any chance of you being here, or the locks not being changed when he returns, then he needs to get honest before he leaves. OP replies, I just don't understand how he could have unfinished emotional business years later, and after he's been with me, and we've gotten an apartment and a cat, and been discussing marriage. Like, this whole thing is really out of character for him. I just wish that he would talk to me, and even if he said that it brought up feelings he didn't realize he had, I would be empathetic towards that. But trying to go home and contact her, and the consensus in these comments, are making me feel like an idiot and so confused. My counterpoint here, OP, you'd be empathetic if he said this brought up feelings he didn't realize he had. What if this just reignited feelings he's had this whole time? Would you be empathetic then? Because I don't think so. I don't think you would be empathetic. Because in the back of his mind, she would always be available if he ever moved back home. It never occurred to him that she would just keep living life and not be pining for him. He never got over her because he didn't think that he had to. He's not talking because if he told you the truth, then you would leave him. There is absolutely no other reason for his behavior. You're in denial, which is normal when you find out the person you've built a life with isn't who you thought they were. You are not an idiot for loving him and believing his lies. You will be if you don't allow yourself to see the truth now. His actions show you everything that you need to know. He's a shameless coward to string you along like this, and he knows it, but has so little respect for you and women in general that he thinks that he can treat both you and his ex like objects of ownership. And when he realized that she had free will, he lost his mind. You have free will too? Use it wisely. Acting strange? He's acting like he plans to go see her and tell her that he still loves her. I'm sorry, but there's unresolved feelings there if he wants to go solo and he plans on seeing her to try and stop her. Everything you've described in this post indicates that he is going to see her and profess his love for her. Things are not perfect. To him, you are a placeholder. He's not telling you because when he leaves to profess his love and she says no, he wants a warm body to go back to. Sorry, this is horrible. I would break things off. I feel like that's the most likely scenario. I feel like he wants his cake and he wants to eat it too. I don't see on the balance of probabilities OP being anything other than a placeholder. He's been using OP as a placeholder for years and stringing OP along. Ain't no way a man that loves you, a man that is supposed to move mountains for you because he loves you, would want to go back to his ex by himself on a solo trip. There is no explanation. He's been secretly moving mountains in his heart for someone else, OP, not you. And now, onto the updates. After reading through all the comments and digging myself out of the little pit of denial and self-pity I was in, I confronted my boyfriend with the phone messages and asked why he wanted to talk to his ex and why he suddenly wanted to visit his stepdad. He was trying to go see her and talk to her. I won't get into everything that was said because it's a lot, but broad strokes. He said that he loves me and that he hadn't thought about his ex in a long time on purpose, as it was too painful. But he does consider her the one that got away. They broke up because he wanted to move for his job. Their relationship had been strained because he dedicated more time to building his career than to her. He said that it brought back a lot of painful feelings and memories, and he flipped. He said he loves me, but he still loves her. I asked him if she were to call him tomorrow and say, "Come back to me," would you? And he said he can't tell me no. Just end my suffering. Just shoot me in the head, why won't you? For the people concerned about the nature of the breakup, I talked to a friend of his on the phone. He was the one who wouldn't give him her new number. He confirmed the details of the story that my boyfriend gave me, and I even purposefully messed up some details to see if he would correct me, and he did. Maybe I am more manipulative than I thought. Her getting a new number wasn't caused by my boyfriend, but they were solidly no contact. I asked the friend if he thought that they'd be married by now if my boyfriend hadn't screwed the pooch, and he said yes. It's been a lot to process for me. I can't really think of anything else to update. Thanks for all the advice and comments on my previous post. In the comments, Away Understanding says, "I really hope that you walked away from him now. He's literally telling you that you are in second place and always will be. You deserve better." OP says, "Yeah, but he's my first place. I don't want to put another man in my situation, but reversed. I know people think that it sounds pathetic, but that's where I'm at right now. I'm not making any decisions, just processing." Do you really want to stay with him knowing that you're just a second choice backup? OP says, "I don't know. I know that's not the answer that people want me to give, but I genuinely don't." Well, at least you found out now before you wasted any more time on him. Okay. Did we read the same comments? Obviously, she has moved on since she's getting married and hasn't tried to contact him. If he does go to try and talk to her, I'm almost positive that he will end up embarrassing himself and then come home and be lonely. Please don't take him back. He took a gamble and it's not going to play out the way that he thought. Yes, don't play second fiddle. If she gets divorced, he'll drop you in a second. Be strong. OP's next post is, "Why is angry sex so good?" So I think it's safe to assume that this is unresolved for the time being. I saw that when I was looking at their post. I looked for another update and there's a why is angry sex so good? Oh, she's not going anywhere. Oh my god, I thought you were joking about that. Poor OP. I hope she manages to get herself out of there. She'll probably get herself knocked up instead. No, say it ain't so. Don't do that, please. Someone in the comments went and retrieved the post, and here it is. Why is angry sex so good? To be clear, I'm not talking about any kind of abuse or anything non-consensual, but just sex when you've both been fighting and at the end of your emotional tether, and it's somehow devolved into really aggressive sex. And it's the best sex I've ever had? Question mark? I'm probably just totally losing the plot right now, but at least the orgasms on the way down are good. I can't deal with this. Oh no. The number of people I've known who were in the process of breaking up and divorcing, yet still went to go bang their ex, is mind-boggling. One woman I knew was going on about how she couldn't believe that her ex thought that they were going to get back together after she spent the weekend screwing him. Like, girl, what message do you think you were sending with that? That's the only updates we have on this one for now. If she was willing to post the why is angry sex so good, I'm sure there's going to be more updates in the future. This is a spicy, fun little story, huh? I think this is one of those situations where someone is so in denial that they really have to hit rock bottom hard. Like face landing, face smashing, hitting the rock bottom before they wake up and do what is right for themselves and get rid of this man. How do you have everyone telling you, you're always going to be second place and he can't wait to leave you when she's divorced? Yeah, he'll get married to you. He'll do everything you want, but you're not that guy. You're never going to be that guy. He's told you that you're not that guy, yet he's your guy. Oh my god, the whole internet is trying to slap some sense into you, and yet you refuse. Wisdom is chasing her, but she is faster. All I gotta say here is, good luck, OP. Thank you for sharing your stories with us, and really, really good luck. Our next post is by user Someone Too Shy, titled, Am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend that I will wear a headscarf when he grows his foreskin back? My female 24, boyfriend male 28, is a Muslim. He usually is not very traditional. We don't live in a Muslim country. The other day, he told me that as soon as we get engaged, I will need to wear a headscarf to cover my hair. I am very proud of my long wavy hair, and a headscarf is absolutely out of the question, and he knows that. When we first met, he even told me that he doesn't like the tradition and that his girlfriend will never have to wear one. Now yesterday, we had a real fight about it. His parents want us to get engaged, and engagement means the future bride has to cover her hair. We got into a heated argument, and I ended it with, I will wear the damn thing as soon as you grow your foreskin back. He left without saying a word, and he went to his parents' place. Silence since then. Am I the asshole here? Edit. 1. I will not wear a headscarf. If that means that the engagement isn't going to happen, then it will not happen. 2. I got downvoted for stating that I love him. Please keep in mind that the fight is less than 24 hours ago, and I miss him. We had a very good relationship for 1.5 years, and have never fought before. We were planning on moving in together after getting engaged. 3. I will not convert to his religion. He knows that, and his mother seemed fine with it. His father never said anything about it. I am Christian, and I will stay Christian. 4. People assume that his family is behind this headscarf idea. But I'm not sure about it, but it might be possible. If they are, they were good at hiding it, since they never said anything. 5. His family immigrated 3 generations ago into the mostly Christian country that we live in. He himself never visited the country, Libya. His great-grandparents and his father's side come from. The family on his mother's side, I don't know. In the comments, Principal After 1922 says, My sister had a serious relationship with a Muslim man in the US with Egyptian parents. They were together for years. Even though he was more progressive, he began increasingly channeling his parents' demands. No more pork, dress more modestly, do as he said since he was the man. She actually wanted to get married to him. When she met his parents, his father extended for a handshake. She reached out and he pulled back and said, "If you knew anything about our culture, you wouldn't have done that. You will never be one of us." He then sat them down and called an end to their relationship. Her boyfriend sat there and just let it happen. Unless your boyfriend has genuine independence and isn't afraid to reject Islamic norms to be with you, these demands are going to continue for the rest of your life. Not the asshole, and think very hard before you commit to a life of being controlled. I'm sure it was hurtful then, but hopefully she's far enough past it where she feels like she was released from a sentence before a firing squad rather than like a rejection. Not the asshole, but I suggest you to reconsider your engagement with someone who 1. Changed his mind, and 2. Lied to you. Right? If he's changing the rules with an engagement, think of what he'll do when it comes to kids. Bless you. He didn't change his mind. He was faking it so he can get sex. As soon as marriage comes up, he reverts. He was never modern, he is just a hypocrite. I've heard that this is not uncommon if you come from strongly religious family. The man might suddenly stop shaving and trimming the beard and even start wearing traditional clothes. And the family values, they insist to go with the older generational values, and they become controlling. This is just the beginning. I do love the headline, not the asshole. For the love of God, do not marry this guy. He's giving major, not without my daughter vibes. As in, pretends to be all liberal and stuff, but as soon as you're getting more serious, he'll suddenly want to get more and more traditional. Him wanting to control how you wear your hair is just a start. If you cave, it'll only get worse, especially once he thinks that you are stuck with him, i.e., once you're married, and especially once you start having kids. Just walk away now. I was coming to say that, dramatic as it sounds, absolutely under no circumstances should she leave the country with this guy if she did decide to stay. My mother-in-law ended up pretty much in the exact same situation that you're describing from that movie, and it led to a nightmare and insane amounts of trauma for her and my husband, who was very young at the time. People like this can be effing insidious. Yeah, there's not much else that I can add on to this after that comment. There's definitely someone in his life influencing him. Could be the parents, could be someone else, who knows? He's got a whole-ass family going on there by the sounds of it. 3 generations is a lot of people. But it's obvious that he's been lying to you this whole time. He's been lying to you for sex. He's been lying to you for a relationship. You can't be with someone like that. It's really just not fair to yourself. I mean, you can see the red flags staring you in the face, and instead of communicating why he was lying to you and having a civil discussion with you about it, he ran away to his parents. Is that someone that you want to be with, OP? You know, religion aside, at base level, he's been lying to you this entire relationship, and his true colors are coming out. I wouldn't want to be with someone like that. That's not a person to build a future with, because he's just going to start controlling you more and more. What's the point? I don't want to be in a relationship with someone like that. If you want to, go ahead. And now, on to the updates. Alright, so this is all complicated. I called my boyfriend, this morning. He didn't answer, his mother did. I told her that I would like him to come get his stuff from my place, since the relationship will not be working out any longer. She told me that he came home yesterday, all quiet and sad. After his father asked him what happened, he told them what I said. Apparently this caused his father to giggle, before he told his son that my reaction has been obvious all along, and that he isn't surprised at all. Turns out, the parents aren't the religious influence, it's the uncle on the father's side. Apparently, he told my boyfriend that the guests at the engagement party, it's a big deal with this culture, with about 100 people, they come from everywhere and probably bring their whole household, the dog, and the neighbors, will probably have a heart attack when they see a pale blonde fiancé without a headscarf. My boyfriend must have had a very deep conversation with his uncle about tradition and being the oldest son and all of that stuff. Basically brainwashing. Long story short, he is my ex-boyfriend now. His mother will come by tonight to get his stuff. In the comments, nice. His parents sound really unproblematic. Totally. Weird reversal on the expression that you don't just marry the spouse, you marry the family. In this case, it was the prospective spouse that was the issue. I mean, it was a family member, just not the parents. I've seen almost as many relationships ruined by jealous, enmeshed siblings as parents. Is anyone else a bit bothered that he was that easily influenced by an uncle to completely change his views on women and marriage, to the point that he loses his fiancée? I mean, yes, girl, you dodged a bullet, but that man has some serious problems. It's the lure of superiority. I'm originally from a conservative religious community. Many young women leave. Many young men stay or go get a degree and then return. The simple truth is that those guys like the idea of being superior. They'll buy into religion, culture, even toxic man-baby influences, whatever, as long as it means that they get to put their own asses on a pedestal. Shame how some people will let toxic influences get into their head. I also get so effing tired of people using culture as an excuse for horrible attitudes. Women are just as equal to men inherently, regardless of cultural mores. There's a great Tolkien quote on this. Good and ill have not changed since yesteryear, nor are they one thing among elves and dwarves, and another among men. It is a man's part to discern them, as much in the golden wood as in his own house. Update 2. First of all, I'm shocked at how much a response my posts got. I would never have thought that people would care so much. I was expecting like 20 answers, but never would I have thought that this would blow up like that. You guys are fantastic. You've been like therapy, and I really needed that. So many loving and supportive answers, so many people helping me to do the right thing. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. My life has been an emotional roller coaster for the last 3 days. The future that I had planned is gone, but I guess it was for the best. So here is what happened last night. My ex-boyfriend's mother came over to get his stuff. Some clothes, shoes, socks, books, his toothbrush and deodorant, stuff like that. She brought dinner. It was chicken with bulgur, and this woman is a fantastic cook, and we sat down to talk. She told me some things that I didn't know before. It's not the first time my ex messed up big time with a girl he wanted to marry. When he was 22, he was in a serious relationship with a very Western, very independent redhead. Pale skin like me, not a Muslim drop of blood in her. They got along great, but when it came to the question of engagement, the uncle took the boy aside and told him that this wasn't working if this girl wouldn't change her looks and her behavior. The relationship ended, and my ex-boyfriend's father got loud. He told his son that he needs to decide what he wanted. If he wanted to live a Western lifestyle, it would be fine. But if he wanted to have a traditional wife, he needs to find someone that is raised that way. Fast forward 4.5 years, and he started dating me. His father warned him to not mess it up again, and that was the last time that he said anything about it. His mother hoped that he would be smarter this time. The uncle is a very traditional man. His daughters both wear headscarves since puberty, so does his wife. He prays, he follows the rules, and since he has no son of his own, he decided that my ex-boyfriend, the oldest son in his family, is like a son to him. About my almost mother-in-law, she wears a scarf herself. I asked her why she does, and she was a little bit embarrassed. She told me that she wasn't always wearing one when she was younger, but she started to get grey hair after her second son was born in her late 20s, and at some point, she decided that a scarf is cheaper than the salon, so she covered her head on and off. She got used to it at some point and then just didn't go back. Strange, I know, but I haven't been in her situation, and it's not my right to judge her. After dinner, we packed my ex's stuff into 2 big shopping bags, and my ex-boyfriend's father came to help his wife carry the bags. He told me that he is sorry about his son's behavior. So that's it. I am single now. Do I hope that he comes to his senses and reaches out to me sometime in the future? A little bit, but do I believe that will happen? No. In the comments, my wife Rox says, I'm still officially team keep the parents. These people are golden. I'd seriously check in on them from time to time. Life rarely gives you people like this. OP says, yeah, I'm gonna miss them. I'm still friends with my ex's family. We split up when my son was 5 months old. He turns 22 soon. A few years ago, some of them stayed at my house during a hurricane. The way my mother always explained it, the traditional man wants a woman to be subservient, but he never falls in love with subservient women. He's attracted to independent women. He's like an exotic bird collector, she said. He only wants a woman who is free because his dream is to put her in a cage. Trevor Noah. Perfect quote. Cyndi Lauper said it too, in a different way. Some boys take a beautiful girl and hide her away from the rest of the world. He wants to date the women he's attracted to and then turn her into the woman that he wants to be married to. Western, non-Muslim girlfriend to traditional Muslimah wife. Cake and eating it and all that. And the power of having changed her is probably a big part of the ego trip to it. Muslim woman here. I don't wear a headscarf because of own reasonings and choice. You didn't do the wrong thing in breaking up with him because I would have done the same thing. Your ex was secretly hoping to change you and mold you into something that he's not sure of. That goes to show that he doesn't have a backbone, is secretive, dishonest, and is a poor communicator. Your ex was indeed a boyfriend, not a man. Info. Did your ex's father ever confront the uncle about meddling with his son's relationships? OP says, I don't know if his father talked about it with the uncle. He's not a man of many words. I just know that he lectured my ex after he messed up the relationship with the other girl when he was 22. So there's the potential that the cycle just repeats again and, he just never learns his lesson? That's cool. That's sick. I know religion plays a huge part in this one, but again, boiling it down to its base elements, yeah, he didn't have a backbone. He was secretive. He's dishonest. He was a shit communicator. Those are very much reasons to leave someone because they were not their true selves to you, to your face, and then they tried to change you and the cat came out of the bag. Don't stay with someone like that. Especially when it's early days, before the abuse starts coming out. You gotta get out of there. And I'm glad you did, OP. I know a lot of people are saying hashtag team keep the parents, but I can see why you wouldn't do that because then you'd be tied back to him in some ways as well. And that's something that I'd be uncomfortable with. I myself wouldn't want to keep in contact, no matter how lovely they are. Anyway, this was a lovely end to a lovely story. I'm glad things worked out for you. Thank you for sharing with us, OP. I appreciate that. And that's where I'm going to end today's episode. I do hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!